And now, more fuckery from the nice guys. Be sure to wash your hands after listening and wait 30 minutes before swimming.
We are 36 minutes in, and I think we have far exceeded our volume of actual real business advice for this episode. So we really just need to wrap it up right here, I think.
So I was sitting in my cubicle today, and I realized, ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's the worst day of my life. At least until I listen to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. I told Bill that if they move my desk one more time, then I'm quitting. I'm going to quit. They moved my desk 4 times already this year. I used to be over by the window, and I could see the squirrels, and they were merry, but then they switched from the swing line to the Boston stapler. But I kept my swing line stapler because it didn't bind up as much. And I kept the staples for the swing line stapler. And it's not okay because if they take my stapler, then I'll set the building on fire. And I might even start listening to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. That'll teach them. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by TurnKey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
So, hey, welcome back. My name is Strickland and Doug. On the other side of the microphone, no, it's not Mr. Doug Sandler. It would be Jennie Bellinger, the direct sales dom.
Woohoo! Hair.
And Marcel.
Yes, I'm here to lodge a formal protest.
Marcel gets on the mic and he's causing trouble already. Okay, go ahead. What are you protesting?
Well, it's nothing serious. I'm just saying that this last episode you guys recorded talked a lot about me, and I just feel like I just need equal time.
Oh, so you're here to defend yourself? Is that what you're saying?
In one aspect, yes. But you talked about margaritas, which was awesome. So I just I want to be part of that. But I think you talked some other things, but primarily, the main thing here is we just got this discussion going on about what is and isn't a mullet, and it's both sides of the story have to be given.
So before we get to that, I think I'm reminded, as I say, that Marcel is on here to defend himself. I'm reminded of the way that Jennie Bellinger and I first met. So Doug came back from the New Media Summit, the first New Media Summit, after meeting Jennie Bellinger and Virginia Muskies, and was making some comments about Jennie getting drunk or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And I was defending Jennie, although I had no idea who she was.
No clue.
No clue. But I thought that it sounded like the way Doug was telling the story, he might have been a slightly slanted point of view and was sort of slandering Jennie a bit. And I came to her defense. And so then with a couple months later, when the next New Media Summit came around, and I actually got to meet Jennie in person. You see, I already had I had her back, right? Like the first thing she said was, "Thank you for defending me," which of course I was like, "What the
hell are you talking about?"
Because I didn't remember, that was like 3 months ago an episode. I don't fucking remember. And she tells me she listens and all that stuff. And we became fast friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's been an amazing story ever since. I would love to tell you listeners a number of the stories about Jennie and I and the times we've hung out, but the show's not long enough. I don't think I can do that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to let Marcel dive in instead. I just wanted to get that prequel out.
Very good. So basically the discussion's been going on Facebook privately, whatever. It's a fun conversation, but here's the gist. So, my daughter goes to the same high school I did. Well, not same building, but it's the same high school. So a lot of the stuff when I was in marching band, they took, band pictures and that sort of thing and posted so those things are hung around the band room. She found a picture and sent it to me. I posted it, for like Throwback Thursday thing. And Jennie, of course, thinks it's my hairstyle's a mullet back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I get why you think it is. Number one, you're looking at one picture. Number two, yes, I had long hair and it was a little shorter on top, but it wasn't, so she's like, it's a mullet. And she's like, yeah. And so she gets out these pictures of this other guy that's got curly hair with kind of a mullet look. So here's the thing. So I think it's a retroactive, redefinition of what a mullet was, because in the 80s, lots of guys had long hair. Okay. But just having long hair didn't make it a mullet. I think the mullet was a very distinct style of hair.
Agreed.
Exhibit A is basically this: business on top, party in the back, right? That's the whole mullet thing.
Yeah.
So my very informal definition of a mullet is if you could just cut the long hair off and the style stands on its own, like just a normal men's hairstyle, then that's probably a mullet. Because the whole idea of the mullet was basically just take a regular men's hairstyle and then just grow the very back of it long.
True.
So the difference, and usually what that resulted in was pretty ratty looking hairstyle, because it was kind of just like it was like a mullet, it just looked didn't look good because it just was like tacking on. It was almost like adding hair extensions to the back of a short haircut. You just right at the base of the neck, you grow it out long. So in contrast, which in Jennie's defense, she's only looking at one picture basically. My hairstyle, number one, being curly, kind of just makes it more difficult to be a mullet, number one. But number two, it was long all around. Now the top was a little shorter, but honestly, most long hairstyles, the top is shorter than the length, right? So what you can't see in the picture is that if I didn't style my hair at the time, and obviously for those that don't know me, I shave my head now, which has its pros and cons, I would say, but mostly pros. If I didn't style my hair at the time, the top would basically hang down around my face and around the side. So it wasn't, this short hairstyle on top. It may have looked short just for particular styling purposes, but it wasn't a mullet. And Exhibit B is basically, at no time did anyone ever call my hairstyle a mullet in the 80s or the 90s when I had it. So that's basically, I just wanted to get on and defend my old hairstyle because, it was pretty glorious at the time. So I just, have to say that.
All right. So I have two things to say to that. First of all,
you had your time. Case closed.
That was last week. You had your time last week.
No. So first of all, I got to know, are you open to allowing me to share the image on the Nice Guys community so people can see and give their input?
That would be fine, I believe. And then I'll have to try to find... Ooh, this might be difficult. I'll have to try to find...
a different picture than the one that's posted?
Yeah, some different pictures. I mean, given that, this was before digital photography, I will see what I can do.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Feel free to share that picture.
All right, done.
Now, I also, in the 80s, definitely had longer hair. My hair was long enough in the 80s that I could pull it around to the sides and touch it in the front, right? Like the back was long enough that I could touch it in the front. Mm-hmm. I had a fucking mullet, okay? I totally admit it. I had a fucking mullet.
And did you call it that in the 80s?
That's a goddamn good question. I have no idea.
Or do you retroactively acknowledge that that's what it is? Because that's my second point is I don't remember that being a thing, a word, until like Joe Dirt came out in like the late 90s. and all of a sudden mullet was like a word.
Yeah,
Now, I
mullet
could
was
be
a
wrong
word in the
because
80s.
I'm younger than both of you guys. Sorry. I'm young. It wasn't a thing for me. Like, it wasn't a word. It wasn't a concept until I don't remember that until the movie Joe Dirt came out.
Yeah, no, it was a word in the 80s and the 90s for sure.
Yeah, I think it was.
But did you call
party
it
in
that?
Yeah, because it was party. It was business in the front, party in the back. That's a mullet. That was the whole thing. I mean, that was during the time of the late 80s and early 90s when the mullet style was popular. I mean, Billy Ray Cyrus had a mullet. So that was what, early 90s achy breaky heart thing going on.
I would say 93, 94. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the tail end. He definitely
literally
wore a
tail end.
he wore a mullet after it was long cool to wear a mullet.
Well, yeah.
Long after.
I think he killed the mullet. Probably, in fact, probably what it was. And just a side note, the best thing that Billy Ray Cyrus ever did was Miley Cyrus. So
I totally fucking agree with you. I could not agree with you more. People give Miley Cyrus a lot of shit because of all the crazy shit she's done. I'm sorry, she is fucking entertaining. I mean,
she is.
She knows how to perform. She owns a stage. I would totally go see Miley Cyrus live.
Agreed. I definitely would.
I'd hit that question mark.
I'd hit that.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway,
let's just just throw it out there. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. I bet she is a tiger in bed. I bet she's a wild one.
She seems kind of crazy. Yeah, I have no doubt that on the crazy hot matrix, she fits right up there with, crazy hot in bed and also just crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wild horse to be tamed, right?
Exactly. Or not tamed.
I was going to say, I don't think that's possible for her.
I'm okay not taming her.
Challenge accepted type of thing, yeah.
I lived with a woman when I was 24. I lived with a 33-year-old woman, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know what they say about older women? I don't remember where I first heard this phrase. I can't remember if I heard it from her or like about her, but it's like when you're a younger guy and you're with an older woman, you just basically wrap the leather strap around your wrist and hold on for dear life. And that's pretty much what it was. And it was fucking amazing. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So
anyway, so we actually have some topics here. Why my gain looks really low. Hold on. I'm going to play with my...
Yeah, I was going to say, you sound a little far away.
Yeah, good. Play with your gain, because that's what we want to hear.
I'm going to play with my knobs here. Is that better now that I've played with my knob?
Yeah, that's better. You don't sound as far away.
It's funny. I still look really low in the meters, though, and I don't know why. It's never done that. Fucking Zencastr, right? It's just like being weird. So,
yeah.
In fact, there's a topic on here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Strick should listen to the fuckery episodes when editing them, and editing is in quotes. This is a Jennie Bellinger topic, by the way. So, what happened with the first? What happened last week's Nice Guys on Business, which. It was really entertaining with Jennie and with Marjorie. If you didn't listen to it, go back and check it out. I didn't even go back and listen to it afterwards. But
nope.
You should
have. Because you want to know why? Because none of the sound effects worked.
Missing, right?
None of them worked. The voicemail that the second time voicemail didn't play. Because you know me, I'm a loyal listener. Even if I'm on the show, I listened on Friday morning when it went live. And I'm sitting there going, I could have sworn he had the drum sound effect there. And I just was like, okay, fine, never mind. It must have been a different part of the show. And then the part came where you were going to play Marjorie's voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was dead air, except for your reactions.
Which I thought was actually quite entertaining. So maybe they should just leave that part out.
Well, I did update the audio later because somebody texted and said, hey, Marjorie's voicemail's not there.
Yeah.
And so I put Marjorie's voicemail back in. And then I thought to myself, well, if her voicemail's not there, none of the sound effects
of them are there.
No wheel spin, no drum hit. So like there were probably some laughs that sounded funny. Like, why are they laughing at that? It was just silence. It was because the drum hit.
There was no.
And then I thought I have to go find them all, and fuck that, I'm not going to do that. But what's weird is we have weirdness with Zencaster.
Yeah.
Right? We use Zencaster, and it's like the sound quality is usually really good, but sometimes you get weird technical problems. So the technical problem, of course, on that episode was none of the sounds that I was playing actually recorded. I've never had that before. And we've used Zencaster for like 4 years.
Right.
And we've had lots of weird technical problems, but never that one. So very weird.
Yeah, because the one time you guys had the voicemails that didn't play, you guys had been on Zoom, right? Wasn't that the issue with the one time before? Yeah. So,
right.
You know.
We were on Zoom and we didn't realize that on Zoom, if we didn't share the audio, it wouldn't record.
Right.
And so that made sense. But like Zencaster, I mean, we've recorded literally hundreds of episodes on Zencaster. That has never happened before. Just weird.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Maybe it's user error.
Certainly possible. Certainly possible.
So what other fun topics do we have on the wheel?
Well, Marcel, you've I'm wondering, as an IT guy, have you ever heard the term picnic?
Yeah.
I've heard
it's an IT term.
I've heard the problem exists between keyboard and chair. That's PEBCAC, I think, something.
No, this is problem in chair, not in computer.
Exactly. Okay. Problem in chair, not in computer. Basically the same thing, but spelled out nicer in an anagram that you can actually see.
Yeah, I like that better.
Problem in chair.
It's either picnic or an ID10T.
Right, ID10T.
Yes.
You can
I've
tell
never
I've been
used
around
those terms.
No,
because
never.
That would be very
ever.
disrespectful.
Yes.
You've never used those terms actually to your clients' faces, right? Exactly. Yeah.
No.
No one.
No.
Okay, so we ready for a topic?
Yeah.
Let's talk about margaritas.
I'm going to spin the wheel. Well, margaritas is not a topic on the wheel, but we can talk about it if you want.
I quite enjoy margaritas, in case anyone had any doubts or misconceptions about that. But no, you guys were talking about the recipes last week, and so I am very proud of Jennie for remembering my basic recipe.
Yes.
So it really is simple ingredients, fresh ingredients, and good quality tequila. So be happy to make anybody a margarita out there. Funkin' fan, so you just have to pay for the airfare and I'll show up and make you one.
Yeah.
Or you can fly to St. Louis area. I mean,
you can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Tim Hill drives through here quite often and he just doesn't tell us when he's coming through.
I was trying to get in touch with Tim today and he was working a show and he was too busy, but we're going to be doing a show at the end of the month. Traffic and Conversion. Doug and I are going to be at this trade show. And I'm like, I got to call Tim and go, Tim, what the hell am I supposed to do? It's a fucking trade show. I don't know what to do. Tim's the king of trade shows. So,
yeah. No, trade shows are pretty easy. It's, you guys have the banner. So that should hopefully attract attention, and then just be ready and willing. I can tell you the number one thing when you're at a trade show, do not stand behind your table.
Right.
You don't stand behind your table because then there's a barrier between you and the person that you want to potentially talk to and bring on as a client. You always stand in front of the table, put the table at the back of the booth. It pulls people in to go look at what you have. If you have stuff to look at, those are the keys.
The other key is to have booth babes.
That helps too. So you can fly me into San Diego. I'll go.
I was going to say, wait, we haven't hired any booth babes yet. Are you available, Jennie?
I will totally wear the corset for that.
Ooh,
I've got a red one that works for TurnKey.
I love that plan. Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk.
Hey, I won't say no to a trip to San Diego.
Talk to her agent, which would be me.
That would be you, right?
Yep.
I get it.
I just hired myself as her agent, so.
Yep, there you go. But since you hired yourself, I don't have to pay you the 10%, right?
Right. I just need to manage you all the way. So I have to come to San Diego too. I've never been to San Diego, so it's a place I need to check it out.
It's a nice place to
San
go.
Diego's nice.
It seems like everyone we know has been in San Diego in these last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Literally, like you guys were first with, well, no, you were there. There was a market.
JVology.
Yeah, JVology was there, and I guess that was you guys. But then someone else went to San Diego, and now just this week, someone else I know went to San Diego. It's like every conference in the world is in San Diego this month or over the last few weeks.
It does seem like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can you blame anybody?
No.
I know. It's
Yeah.
Not this time of
Yeah.
year. Hell
Exactly.
no.
Definitely not.
All right, spin that wheel.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's get the wheel. Here we go. Spinning the wheel.
Let's just hope that sound effect shows up.
I know, right? I'm seeing it on the meter, so we're going to see. Female monologues that listeners might want to hear.
Yeah, so that's my topic. So last week you played my Star Wars monologue, my opening for the Nice Guys, and I would love to hear from the listeners. So if you guys want to comment in the Nice Guys community, if you want, I can put a post up. I would love to know what iconic female monologues would you like for me to record for the Nice Guys, because as much as we love Steve O'Brien, he definitely does not have a girly voice. So
He's
what
very manly.
He's very, very manly. So what female monologues would you want to hear other than Princess Leia? So I would love some input on what you guys think would be a cool monologue for me to do, and I'll go find it and I'll record it for Strickland and Doug.
I have a little input on this because we had this conversation months ago.
Yeah, probably.
I think before I'm not one to take credit, but I think that was my idea. You just didn't know that because we had the conversation in private, and then
we did, because I was trying to figure out what to record for the guys.
So at the time, once we finally came up with the Princess Leia monologue because it is iconic. I was thinking along the lines of Sarah Connor from the Terminator series. What else? That movie with Gina Davis, Long Kiss Goodnight, and Samuel L. Jackson. I think she had a couple little monologues in there. I remember one where she was something like "Life is pain, get used to it." That might have been part of a longer one. Anyway, so we had a good conversation that night. I have to try to remember some more.
I'm just curious, what are the big female monologues that we're not thinking of that we could include in there? Because I looked up Princess Bride ones, but all the Princess Buttercup lines that are supposedly big, monologues are actually things that got cut from the movie. There's stuff from the book.
She did not have a lot of dialogue.
No. So all the stuff from the book, all the great stuff, because apparently she was a much stronger character in the book. Got cut from the movie. Thanks, Rob Reiner. Anyway, but I was just curious, like, what other fun monologues would there be? Or even if it's a one-liner, it doesn't even have to be a full-on monologue like the Princess Leia one that I did. But I'm just curious, what am I missing out on? What do the Funkin' fans have to say that I could record for you guys?
For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about too, you got to go back and listen to last Friday's episode. There is the basically Jennie has read the monologue. I'm not going to put it on as an intro again. I don't want to do it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
The help us Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. And so I put the music behind it and everything. And it was really cool. It turned out really good.
Yeah, that was awesome because I almost put the music on, but I was afraid to get you guys in trouble, but you threw it on there anyway.
I guess we don't give a shit.
No, not so much. But at least I have some ideas now to jump in to look those up from Marcel. What about you, Strick? What ideas do you have that you're thinking of?
Here's the thing. We already have 150 or 200 intros and outros from Steve O'Brien.
Yes.
Right? And so anytime I think of a great line that I think would be funny, that would fit for the Nice Guys on Business, I write it down and then I'll send them to Steve O'Brien kind of in groups.
Right.
And I've done it 150 times. Like, I'm really running out of things to send him.
Right. But those are dude lines.
But if I found a good female line, I think it would be even funnier to have Steve O'Brien read it, and I just haven't found any good ones. So.
That's true. Very true. Oh, I just thought of one. I'm going to write it down. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
But
you just got to record it.
I'm going to tell you one.
Okay.
Steel Magnolias has all sorts of
Oh,
female
shit.
monologues.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So, yeah, I'm totally going to be into the
seen
Steel.
that movie a lot or anything.
Here's the thing, though. So, what I was thinking of when I was trying to come up with a monologue to record for the Nice Guys was I was like, okay, what's something that these guys are going to really be able to hone in on and figure out where it's coming from pretty quickly. And Steel Magnolias came to mind. I was like, they're not going to know that. That's a chick flick. So I just kind of dismissed it out of turn. But I mean, if there are some lines in there that you guys think would be fun, I'll throw them in there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've never fucking seen it, and I'm probably never going to fucking see it.
Yeah.
So you can send it, and if the line is good and it seems
it's
memorable,
a good
I'll
line.
Put it on, but,
there are lots of good lines. There's some really good ones in there. But honestly, yeah, if you haven't seen it, my guess is most of the Nice Guys listeners probably haven't seen it. It's probably me and Stephanie Sursland and maybe Tim Hill.
All right. If
Well, it's
any
a big
dudes
one. I mean, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I
If
haven't
any
seen it.
dudes have ever dated any women in the last 30 years, then they've probably seen it.
At least
Well, there you go.
once.
That's
So
why
what's your
I
problem, Strick?
haven't, so.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
I
but
haven't in the
Strick-
last 20 years. So.
But Strickland, with a fine southern name like Strickland, you have to watch Steel
At least
Magnolias.
once. At least once.
At least once. And it does have Julia Roberts, so, there's a win.
You know, I like Julia Roberts as an actress, but I don't think of her as like hot. You know, like everybody's like, "Oh, she's so fucking beautiful." Like, there's something funny looking about her. She seems like fun, right? Like, I'd like to hang out with her. But like, if you want to talk kind of more girl next doorish, like Sandra Bullock is fucking hot because she's
That's so
smart
funny.
and she's funny and she's just girl next door beautiful. But Julia Roberts, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I think Julia Roberts is girl next door beautiful, and then she took it up a notch. It's like she figured out that, you know what, I'm actually hot, so let me like make myself hotter. Obviously in an actress, it's not, it's whatever they're casting them, but no, I think she, I would say she's not necessarily supermodel hot, but she's, what you say about Sandra Bullock is kind of what I think about Julia Roberts. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's expressive, and she is very sexy, I think. So,
And you know why he's saying that, right, Strick?
No.
that's not true.
Because I've been compared to Julia Roberts. Like, if I have a celebrity doppelganger, the one celebrity that I hear over and over again from people is that I look like Julia Roberts. I've got the laugh. I've got the big mouth. I'm very Erin Brockovich in terms of, like, I will say what's on my mind and pop forward. So I think he's just trying to make sure that I don't get mad at you or something.
No.
That's very interesting because
No,
I never would have thought about that before, but I totally see it.
Right?
I was being totally honest. I wasn't trying to play any angle.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
I totally see
Yeah.
that.
Totally.
No, but I do agree with that in certain, especially when I used to dye my hair red, I definitely had a Julia Roberts vibe. I have no idea what she looks like recently because I haven't seen her in forever, but yeah, at least back in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, she and I looked a lot alike. So I can see
Now
it.
she seems to have more recent pictures I remember of her. She seems to have more darker and straighter hair generally.
She's
But yeah,
not
when
doing
she-
the crazy curly hair like I am.
Yeah,
Still.
when she had curly hair and it was reddish, it definitely at least the hair resemblance was there, and some of the personality spikes, I would say, is when you guys get expressive, you laugh, and it's very similar.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Topics
Speaking of-
wheel.
And speaking of, there might be some Julia Roberts monologues that you could look into.
Oh, definitely. I'll put that
Aaron
out there.
Brockovich, right? Aaron Brockovich?
Yeah.
Even Pretty Woman, or even
Pretty Woman.
Mystic Pizza. back
Mystic
from the
Pizza.
day.
That was her first
Her
movie.
first big movie,
Mystic
yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah. But
Well, then
here's
there was
the
the one
thing.
with there was another one too that she was in, that she was just kind of the she wasn't considered the star at first because it was Justine Bateman was the star. But then when Julia Roberts got hot, they retroactively, like almost like a mullet, they went back and made her this, the star.
Retroactively, like the mullet. I love it.
Oh, true that.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So you have the topics wheel all oiled up and ready to go?
I think we get time for one more topic. Let's spin the wheel for one more topic. Okay, how do you know you're not charging enough for your services?
When people agree to the price right off the bat.
That's the good quick answer. But
yeah,
Jennie put the topic onto the topic wheel, which means I'm guessing she's probably got some more detail.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a number one first answer, that when you're talking to a potential client and they ask how much your services are and you tell them and they automatically jump in, there's no haggling, there's no discussion, there's no hemming, there's no hawing, you're not charging enough. So that's first clue. Second clue is when you've got a client who pays for your services, but then when there's additional stuff, they don't pay full price for the other stuff because they don't trust you enough to take into account that you know what you're talking about when you're suggesting other things as well. Yeah, so that might have been something that came up elsewhere, but we'll leave it at that.
But we'll leave it.
You've confused me now.
It sounds like there's a specific situation that's come up with this.
Yeah. And, so what it was is there was a client who we had some suggestions for some materials that they should take care of as part of their coaching package, and they cheaped out and bought the cheaper thing, and then they had to deal with the repercussions of the cheaper thing instead of taking into account that we know what we're talking about.
Okay, you can continue to be vague if you like, because you don't want to implicate the guilty.
I would not want to implicate the guilty and harm a potential client's feelings. So, but I would definitely say you can definitely take a look at things like that make you go, oh, maybe I should charge more, because the number one thing when it comes to small businesses is that most small businesses are not charging enough. Now, most of my clients are in direct sales. They don't have a choice about pricing, right? The prices are set by the company that they are independent contractors for. But for the rest of us, we get to choose what our prices are. And it's really taking a look at what's the value that we provide, and will that pay itself back for the client? And I think in the case of myself and the services that TurnKey podcast production provides, there's definitely a huge return on investment. So when someone hires...
Now you just specifically mentioned TurnKey. So is this just a little...
it could be...
have something to do, or you're just using TurnKey as an example?
It's an example. It's an example because I also threw my company in there as well, my coaching services as well. We have control over our pricing. We are not controlled by a market. We are not controlled by any regulatory force, whether government or anything else. Like, as a coaching service, I am not controlled by anybody but me.
True.
I am in charge. Yeah.
Marcel knows that very well.
Very well, yeah. But I get to control my pricing and my value, and so as I'm putting that out there to the world, one of the things that I consider as I'm thinking about this, as I'm thinking about what to charge my clients, is what kind of value are they going to get in return? Are they going to make more money? Yes. Are they going to grow their team to make more money? Yes. Are they going to earn the trip that they wanted to? Yes. So all those things account into that. For other companies and other services, when they're often going, man, how can we make more money? The number one thing you can do that you have the most control over, charge more.
Charge more.
What's
the old software development adage? I can get it to you fast. I can get it done right. or I can get it done for you cheap.
Yep.
You get to pick two.
Yeah.
You only get to pick two. You can either have it fast or cheap or right, but you only get to pick two of those things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much. And I think there's just a bunch of businesses, a bunch of entrepreneurs who listen to the nice guys. And this was one of those things that I pretty much was like, this is something that they're probably going to really find helpful, is the fact that most businesses don't charge what they're worth. They charge what they think they can get.
Wait, people actually listen to this show?
Yes, they do.
So it sounded like you just
as
3 million downloads. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just all bots, I'm sure. But as someone that's been in business for, it's just about to be 18 years full time in April. So I agree with that most businesses don't charge enough. And I think what a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs need to understand is that you need to charge what you're worth, definitely. And sometimes that takes time to develop. The longer you're in business, and you can start charging more, obviously, based on expertise. But it doesn't mean that you can't, at times, make an exception for a special client. But you can't make exceptions all the time, because it's the clients that pay you what you're worth that allow you the flexibility to take on a special client or something for that particular reason. So if you want to be quote unquote generous, then you've got to charge what you're worth so that you can afford to be generous to certain cases.
Yeah,
and
true.
That's my wisdom of the day.
Well, and I think too, what's interesting, and I don't know how much you want to speak to this, Strick, or not, but my experience is that the clients who pay my full price, I almost never have issues with.
Very true.
Right? The ones who are getting what the rest of the world would call a discounted price, and what I call preferred pricing, can sometimes be the more pain in the butt clients. And I prefer not to deal with pain in the butt clients. So I have started realizing that in 3 years of business, that the most difficult clients are the ones who aren't paying full price. The ones who pay full price realize my worth, and they don't give me shit for it. And I think that that's something that most other entrepreneurs and business owners can go ahead and start taking to heart. And I bet if they look at their client list, they'll find the same exact pattern.
I agree.
Well, we are 36 minutes in, and I think we have far exceeded our volume of actual real business advice for this episode. So we really just need to wrap it up right here, I think. That's the only thing to do, because if we have any more business advice in one episode, God, somebody will be actually calling us a business advice show.
I know, right? You guys might fit in the business category on Apple Podcasts. What?
I know, right? We can't have that.
By the way, Strick, I think you're really going to appreciate this. I had trouble with my iPhone today. I was cursing at it. I almost threw it out the window of my car.
God damn right. That's what I'm talking about.
Damn it. And what app was giving you trouble?
The messaging app.
But it was the Google keyboard, right? I mean, I'm just saying, you got to play fair.
Which
right?
I never had
Google
issues
keyboard.
with.
Oh no.
My God. Let me tell you, God love it. I
use the Google keyboard too. I actually alternate between the Apple and the Google keyboard for different purposes, and I've not had that problem. I
exclusively use the Google keyboard on my phone. Seriously, the only Apple stuff I use on my phone is the stuff that they won't let me switch to other stuff for. I have, now Strick, you're going to appreciate this. I have a whole folder on my phone called shit I don't use. It's all Apple stuff.
Right.
All
that
of
they
it.
Won't let you
that they won't let you take.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. They won't let you take it off. Now, I do have to give the other side. When you have a Samsung, LG, HTC, whatever Google phone you've got, they also have things that they won't let you uninstall, right?
Absolutely.
They all do.
Phones.
They all have something.
Bixby. if I could uninstall Bixby, it would make me really fucking happy. But I'm sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
you're not using your assistant?
Should I be using Bixby?
Oh my God, yes. Okay,
Really?
so even when I had an Android, I was using the Google Assistant all the time.
Okay.
So because you're using the Google Calendar, you have Gmail, all of those things, you can tell Bixby to do all those things for you rather than typing it in. So you can have that conversation with your phone. Literally.
But I don't use like the voice commands. Like I just touch and drag and
I understand, and it's faster to talk to your phone.
Once you use it, once you get used to it, you'll appreciate it.
It is life changing. I did that. I used to do that with my now. See, they didn't have Bixby back when I was on Android. It was all the OK Google stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope I didn't just turn your phone on. but it was all, I regularly would say, OK Google, remind me to blah 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 blah, and it would add a reminder on my calendar. Okay, Google, would you send a text message too? So as long as somebody's in your contact list, it will send the text message. You don't even have to open the thing and do all the whatevers. It does it for you.
Yeah.
And so
I need to start. I have not done any of that.
Oh my God.
It's like, I just got to you're right. I just got to do it and get used to it, I think.
It is seriously life-changing. It saves so much time. All the things that you're worried about forgetting, you won't forget. And by the way, oh my God, we have more business advice for people. Use your phone as your personal assistant, because it is. It really is. You can use it for reminders, to send emails, to send text messages. It doesn't matter whether you have iPhone or Android. Both of them do it. You just have to learn how. And there are tons of YouTube tutorials teaching you how to do that with either phone type. And so I regularly talk to my phone. And now, since I have iPhone, I also have an Apple Watch, and I talk to my Apple Watch a lot. And people think I'm like Maxwell Smart or something. And so I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to turn it on because I have that problem. But I will regularly talk to my watch, talk to my phone, have it take care of things for me. So if I don't want to forget something, I have it tell me to have a reminder go off at a certain time. I literally schedule everything in my phone, including grocery shopping and laundry. Because if I don't schedule it, it doesn't get done.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
I tell my phone to open and close the garage.
What? Really?
Yes.
You're damn right.
Yep.
My car does that for me automatically, but I still think that's pretty cool that you can tell your phone to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you, for those of you listeners who are Apple people, you can get a device that connects to your garage door opener, and it allows you to use your home app, and you can open and close your garage door from anywhere in the world as long as your phone is connected to the internet.
Yep.
Very interesting.
It's awesome.
I think that's enough real advice for
I know.
today. We're just going to explode if we give any more. And we're 41 minutes in, so I think it's time to wrap it up.
We just can't help it. We just live to serve.
You live to serve.
Pretty much.
Well, why don't, if you want to live to serve, why don't you serve by giving us the, Marcel, I let Jennie do it last time. So do you know the closing line for the show?
Something along the lines of Steve O'Brien, take us out.
For the nice guys on business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Do you think they could have rambled on any longer today? Blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.
Something along the lines of Steve O'Brien, take us out.
That would be it, right?
Take us out of here. No, don't take us out.
Take us out of here. Don't take us out.
Take us out of here.
Steve O'Brien, I'm putting a contract.
I know, right? Steve O'Brien suddenly is a contract killer.
Not so much. But, I think that's good. So this last minute or two, it's going to all be the Easter egg stuff anyway. So I think we're good. So let me hit the stop button on here.